What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Strangest Minds. I'm Fernando, and today we're going to keep on with Mind Junkie. It was 20 videos. We're down to 10. So, this is the part two of the last video. And so far, so good. There were a lot of videos that I already saw. So, what we're going to do is continue on. Let's go.
The next video was filmed by two friends who were having what should have been a relaxing movie night at home. They settled in to watch a horror film, just looking forward to some scares on the screen, but what started as entertainment quickly turned into their own real-life nightmare.
Oigan amigos, estábamos aquí viendo una película de terror y se están empezando a escuchar ruidos en la casa. Te juro que neta, en serio. Ponle pausa, ponle pausa. Pausa. Alexa. Mute. Alexa. Mute. Pausa. Ay, no se pausó.
That's a pain in the butt when Alexa doesn't understand. Oh man, obviously, I think most of households has an Alexa, and we used her or it, whatever, to for alarms. And once she goes off, the alarm goes off. I'm saying she, we're all groggy. Alexa, turn the alarm. The alarm keeps on going. But when your language is not up to par, does I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a setting where you could make her change her language, but would she actually still listen?
What the fuck? Madres. Se los juro, ¿Qué pedo? Bien. ¿Sí lo grabaste? Sí, creo que sí quedó grabado. Es que estábamos aquí en la casa, estábamos viendo una película ya para... literal, ya para dormir. No mames. O sea, nosotros siempre tenemos la puerta abierta porque aquí hace un calor horrible, por eso.
As the girls are watching TV, a sound startles them. One of the girls tries to pause the TV with Alexa, but it doesn't pause. Then jingling and door slamming makes them worry. But this was only the beginning. A short while later, after continuing the movie, this happens.
No, eso fue en mi cuarto. Yo estaría calmado. Oigan, ya no habíamos escuchado nada. Y... No mames, te juro que no estamos esperando a nadie. No. Oigan, y es que estamos completamente solas, o sea, vivimos aquí. Se están escuchando cosas allá en la parte del baño. Se sigue moviendo. ¿Qué pedo? Leslie. No. No, Leslie, estamos solas, no mames. Perdón. Es que se están escuchando cosas.
A loud bang scares the girls who were already on edge from before. Then the sounds of shuffling frightens them further, followed by knocking, and the girls' reaction does seem pretty genuine. However, the activity doesn't stop there.
No. ¿Qué hacemos? Hay que hablarle a César. ¿Tiene su número? Márcale. Ay, acompáñame a mi cuarto. Es que se sigue moviendo esa cosa. No, vente, no, vente. Vean. Hay que hablarle a César.
The sounds persist, and something continues moving in the house. The friends huddle together, debating whether to call someone for help, but unsure who could possibly explain what's happening. Some believe that horror films can somehow attract negative energy, or even open doorways to the supernatural. Whether that's true or not, these girls experienced something genuinely terrifying that night, and their reactions say it all. After uploading these clips to the internet, viewers believe that this is likely what happened. But what do you think was causing the disturbances during their movie night? Was it just coincidence? Or did their horror film somehow invite something unwelcome into their home?
Nah, nah. So for the, for my female subscribers out there, if you are experiencing paranormal activity, how are you going to react? Because honestly, like their reaction, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, even in my house, if I'm watching something with my girl and we hear something, I, I we would investigate. Like we need to find out what's going on. We need to make sure our house or our, like we are safe, we are secure. We would, um, but then again, we're talking about two women here, so this is why. Is this normal for you guys to react like this? To do a lot and absolutely not do nothing at the same time? Because that's how it seemed. Everything there for me is orchestrated. Um their reaction is like very severely poor. And like who's not to say this was all just just to try and pull a woos over your head, because even with the video they were trying to blur out the TikTok and their TikTok name in the bottom. That's what it was. But there was there was a part of the video where they kind of missed it and you see the TikTok and the name and everything. I'm not sure if it was them or if it was my junkie, but there was a slip. We know who you are now. So let's continue going. The Figure by the Morgue.
Hospital workers at IVSS Dario Vivas in Venezuela decide to celebrate New Year's Eve during their midnight shift. The staff gather in one of the hospital corridors to take group photos commemorating the occasion. Everyone is accounted for and positioned for the camera when they snap several pictures. Days later, when reviewing the photos, they discover something that leaves the entire staff terrified. This is what appeared in their group photo. The photo shows all the hospital workers smiling and celebrating in the hallway, but in the background, at the end of the corridor, a dark figure can be seen standing motionless. According to everyone present that night, no one was standing in that location when the photo was taken. The figure appears to be positioned directly in front of the entrance to the hospital morgue. All staff members insist they have no idea who this is. The hospital has strict security protocols, and no unauthorized personnel should have been in the building. The celebration was meant to be a private gathering for the night shift workers only, yet someone else decided to join their New Year's Eve party, and that uninvited guest was standing right outside the morgue.
Why they thought it was a person, I'm not particularly sure. Yes, there was like a shadow something there, but I don't know. I don't know. On the last video, we saw a little girl taking a picture with her mom's phone, and she took a picture, and there was a mirror there, and there was a smudge on the mirror, or that's what we're saying, because they were saying that there's a face, but it looked like a smudge on the mirror. So who's not to say there was something on the camera? What would have been nice was to see, like if they took multiple pictures, because that's what people would normally do, right? Even if you was to ask a stranger to take a picture, the stranger will literally just take a couple of pictures, right? Not just the one. I would like to see another picture compared to this one. That would give this picture, this video more credence and make it more believable. That's just me.
This next entry was uploaded to TikTok by John Bailey Davis Music, who, prior to the recording of this clip, had been enjoying a relaxing night of gaming at home alone. While gaming, John is disturbed by the sounds of knocking coming from his bedroom door.
I'm the only one here right now. And as you can clearly hear, there's just someone out there.
Something can be heard on the other side of the door, or someone, as John says in the video, but he's at home alone. The sounds continue for some time, but eventually they stop. And for the next couple of nights, everything seems fine. However, late one night, this happens.
Welcome back to what is in my apartment while I'm home alone. Like, what could... Now, last time I didn't do this. I'm gonna open this door and it's gonna stop. I hate it.
Sounds can be heard coming from the other side of the door, but when John opens it, no one's out there. TikTok viewers were spooked after seeing these clips uploaded by John Bailey Davis, with commenters saying that opening the door might not have been the best idea. Some believe that by opening it, John may have unknowingly invited whatever was behind it into his home, giving it permission to stay or even follow him wherever he goes. But if you were John, would you have opened the door? Let me know.
All right, take it from somebody that lived in New York and lived in an apartment building. Those walls are surprisingly thin, right? Who's not to say that that was your neighbor, that you're hearing things from your neighbor? I have to admit, the first video with the footsteps, it sounded almost as though it was walking upstairs. There's no stairs in his apartment. So, what further makes me believe that these walls are thinner than he realizes, you know, and that's to just say, that there was nobody else in the apartment. He didn't really check. He's saying that, he's by himself, but do we really know that? I mean, I'm just saying, when it comes to sounds, phantom sounds and stuff like this, yes, it does happen, but there's just a lot of questions, like, what happened that this started? Did this start since you moved in there, or did it just start happening all of a sudden? Because there has to be something that you probably did, or a place you probably went and possibly got an attachment of sorts. But again, this is an apartment building. Walls are thin. Who's not to say you're just hearing, or this is just a hoax, you know, orchestrated, and there's, you just have people knocking, whatever. We need more to conclude that this is paranormal activity.
This photo was taken on May the 11th, 2024 by a man who shared it with a chilling caption, "I recorded the ghost of my sister." He was sitting in his car when he decided to take a casual photo. Nothing unusual about the moment, just a simple snapshot that anyone might take. But when he looked at the image later, he noticed something that sent chills down his spine. In the side mirror's reflection, you can clearly see what appears to be a woman's face. Whoever it is seems to be positioned right behind the driver's seat, almost like someone was sitting directly behind him. But here's what makes this photo so haunting. The man was completely alone in the car when he took this picture. There was no one else with him, no passengers, no one who could have created this reflection. According to the uploader, the face in the mirror is his sister, who had passed away some time before. Almost like she had somehow appeared in the car, watching over him during this quiet moment. The position of the reflection suggests this figure would have been sitting directly behind him, close enough to touch, yet he felt nothing, sensed no presence, had no idea anyone else was there. It wasn't until he reviewed the photo that he discovered he may not have been alone after all. Some believe this is evidence that those we lose never truly leave us, and that they continue to watch over their loved ones from beyond. But what do you think? Was this really his sister's spirit, letting him know she's still with him?
First and foremost, it is a very sad occurrence to anybody that loses a loved one at such a young age. She looks extremely young. Um, if we go by the story, it is very interesting. Now, the picture, if we're going by the story, man, you know, this is I am a paranormal investigator and I look into everything. So the solidness of that face seems to be like it's a real person. I mean, it's not even transparent. It's like very, it's like there was a person there, but according to the story, there was nobody there. Um the Maybe it was due to trying to create this video that the closer you get, naturally the picture becomes more pixelated. But you could tell the pixelation even with around the side view mirror, even with the door. It was pixelated, so it goes, the picture goes very good, just making me think that this was not edited in. It's an actual picture. Now, whether or not there was somebody in the back seat is up for question. Now, I have heard and seen many stories and even witnessed myself, things. Loved ones do tend to visit you and just check up on you per se, right? Because that's what they say. Like when you come across a loved one that passed on and, you see them, you hear them or whatever, it is, that they're just checking up on you. Um, it is heartwarming to think that sometimes when you are feeling at a low and you're missing the person, that they actually show up to console you one way or another. It's up to you whether or not you are going to go through the, you know, um, trying to see how you caught them, right? If you're talking on the phone or if you're taking pictures, videos, or just recording, voice recording. This there's absolutely ways for you to find out if you are alone or not. Um, do you guys believe the story? Was he actually alone? That's up for question for me.
Chris and his friend Mick decided to attempt stealth camping at St Andrew's Church in northern England, an abandoned structure that has been derelict since around 1970. According to local stories, the church is heavily cursed, but Chris remained skeptical of such supernatural claims. He viewed it simply as an interesting and remote camping location, unaware that their cameras would capture something far more disturbing than scenic footage.
We'll have a mooch round now before it's pitch black,
I've seen these two
so we
guys
can
before.
manoeuvre around without walking over the top of the graves, if you know what I'm talking about.
Upon arriving on the church grounds, Chris and Mick search for a suitable place to set up their tent among the ancient gravestones scattered throughout the property. By the time they finish their preparations, darkness has completely enveloped the isolated churchyard. The pair decide to explore the church building itself, expecting to find it locked and secured, but to their surprise, the heavy doors open easily, allowing them access to the abandoned interior. As they venture inside, the atmosphere grows increasingly tense until, suddenly, unexplained sounds begin echoing through the empty church. Startled by the mysterious noises, both men immediately flee the building. After some time to recover, Chris and Mick decide to re-enter the church for a second exploration, but as they investigate the interior once again, more unexplained sounds begin emanating from the darkness. This time, their camera captures something truly creepy.
Yeah, multi buttons. What the
That.
what?
Mix away.
A dark, shadowy figure can be seen lurking behind the church door, as
You saw
if
it.
watching their retreat. The entity appears
You
human-like
saw
but
it.
unnaturally dark, positioned as though it had been observing them throughout their visit. This remote location should be completely uninhabited, especially at this hour, yet something was clearly present inside the church. Neither Chris nor Mick noticed this presence during their escape, only discovering it later when viewers pointed it out. After this second encounter, the pair decided they'd had experienced enough of the church's interior. They never ventured back inside, spending the remainder of their night safely at their campsite before departing the next day. The combination of unexplained sounds and the mysterious shadowy figures suggests that the local legends about St. Andrew's Church being cursed may have more truth than Chris initially believed. But what do you think Chris and Mick encountered during their stealth camping adventure? Did they inadvertently document evidence of something paranormal, or stumble upon something even more disturbing lurking in that abandoned sacred space?
Now here's my thing, right? That door was wide open. I mean, not wide open, but it wasn't locked, so they were easily able to gain access. I would love to know if they asked permission to stay on the grounds of a ancient church and be able to go inside, because who's not to say there was already somebody in there if it wasn't, secured, right? If they did get access, what it seems like to me, they got access. They asked permission, they gave them access, and the owner of the property left the door open. Who's not to say somebody walked in there? Now, I have to say this: that shadow didn't look like a person. The outline of a person, yes, but due to the lighting and even with the movement of the camera, yes, it's a little blurry, but that shadow was black, like black. With the light source, with the light, and the camera panning to it, you should have been able to make some sort of facial, or even know what the person is wearing. You can't tell nothing. It was completely black. Unless it's orchestrated. They caught somebody there, and all of this was orchestrated. Could this have been, just somebody trying to keep a low profile, trying to hide? You know, they didn't realize somebody was in there. I don't know. It didn't seem like they really went in to the church because it happened so fast. I don't know. I didn't see the whole video. Maybe they did. I mean, that dude, the small dude, he he bounced the second he heard the first bang. He bounced. He did a beeline straight out the door. And it's if this was like real paranormal investigators, they would have investigated. That's all I'm gonna say.
This next image was shared by a Reddit user who goes by the name Musical Mama 2. She says the photo was taken at her brother's wedding back in 2010 during a small ceremony held in a Philadelphia apartment. At the time, no one noticed anything strange. It was just a quick picture of the newlyweds and some family smiling for the camera. But years later, when the photo resurfaced in a family album, someone finally noticed what had been hiding in plain sight. Do you see it? Look at the mirror. We can see the reflection of the bride, but behind is, well, someone who, if we...
That does look like a face. You can almost tell the hair, the hairstyle. You definitely tell the mouth, nose, eyes. The reason why is because there are a lot of cases where people take pictures of mirrors, and due to matrixing, the smudges on the mirror, depending on how old it is, it does give like a bit of a face feature to certain pictures, and it's called matrixing basically. But this doesn't seem it's that. And if you was to actually see the woman, because that's her right there, that's her. Yeah, that is a good one. I like this one.
Do you see it? Look at the mirror. We can see the reflection of the bride, but behind is, well, someone who, if we look behind the bride, isn't there. The face is grey, with what looks like dark hair, and is completely out of place. The OP says this face doesn't match anyone who was there, and that it doesn't appear in any other wedding photos, and no one remembers anyone standing in that position at that time. So what or who is it? The OP posted this photo to the subreddit Ghosts, indicating that they think it's something paranormal. But what do you think?
Talking about the subreddit, I haven't done a Reddit reads in a while. I'll probably record some. You'll probably see me wearing the same thing because I think I'm going to record some.
This next photo takes us back to 1956 to Eastry Church in Kent, England, a historic building that has stood for centuries, witnessing countless visitors come and go. But according to Ghosts of London, this particular photograph captured something that shouldn't have been there. The image was taken during what appeared to be a normal day, just a simple photograph of the empty pews and interior. But when the film was developed, the photographer discovered they weren't alone that day. In one of the front pews sits what appears to be a transparent figure, the ghostly outline of what looks like a person.
Actually, now that I paused it, I see it better. And the words doesn't help. You see, when the line popped up, it moved it up. That looks like those are fingers, my guys. Those are fingers. Because at first, these benches, these stools, the way they're built, these church benches, that would be part of the wood. Even though you don't see it over here, but these are like like the leg board, the legs, like just screwed on towards the back of the front, the back of the bench. But now these are fingers over here. That's definitely fingers. And it just stretches out to like possibly 4 rows. I would love to see the actual or original photo of this.
Dressed in dark robes, sitting peacefully, completely unaware that their presence was being captured on film. The figure is clearly visible, but translucent, as if they're not entirely of this world. Eastry Church dates back to the 12th century, and many believe this could be the spirit of someone from centuries past, still returning to a place that once meant something to them, even after passing. The photograph has become one of England's most famous ghost images, and experts who've analysed it say there's no evidence of tampering or double exposure. So what do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Well, definitely the thought of double exposure, which means you're taking a picture over another picture and it causes that. It didn't even cross my mind. But it did seem like it looks like a priest, if you were to tell me. And it expanded through 4 rows. So I would like to see what was the position of the camera. Like the guy taking the picture, I would like to know his position on taking this image, because it is interesting. I actually like that picture.
This next clip was uploaded by Adrian Gonzalez 271. Adrian worked the night shift at a warehouse facility, usually a quiet job involving routine inventory checks and organising storage areas. He's been doing this work for months without incident, just the typical tasks of moving boxes and keeping track of shipments. But on this particular night, something felt different about the storage room. As Adrian went about his usual duties, he noticed movement in his peripheral vision, something that shouldn't have been there. At first he thought it might just be another employee working late, or perhaps a shadow cast by the overhead lighting, but when he looked more carefully, he realized he was seeing something that defied explanation.
Luego aquí dicen que algo se aparece. No manches. ¿Ves lo que se ve allá? Algo se ve. ¿Qué es lo que qué se ve ahí? ¿Qué se ve? Ay, no manches. No.
At the far end of the storage room, a small face peeks out, but this isn't the face of a co-worker or security guard. Whoever or whatever it is darkness. Most unsettling are the eyes, which seem to reflect light in an otherworldly way. Adrian is left standing alone in the warehouse, trying to process what he just witnessed. Many believe Adrian captured footage of a child spirit, perhaps someone connected to the building's history. But what do you think Adrian encountered in that storage room?
He caught a person trying to pull a fast one on him. This whole thing, the person is involved. This whole thing is orchestrated. I don't believe it one single bits, but it would be a good like plot to a movie. Definitely.
This final video brings us something completely different from paranormal encounters we've seen tonight. On the night of June the 15th, 2020, workers at what appears to be an airport facility witnessed something in the sky that left them questioning everything they thought they knew about our world. It was a typical night shift, but suddenly something extraordinary appeared above them that demanded immediate attention. User 4Charlie4 uploaded this footage after capturing what many are calling one of the most compelling unexplained aerial phenomena caught on camera.
What's that? An alien. What is that actually?
A bright green beam of light suddenly appears in the cloudy night sky. The luminous object moves with incredible speed, streaking through the clouds like a shooting star. But this isn't the typical white or orange glow of a meteor. This is an intense, out-of-this-world green light. The witnesses can be heard reacting with amazement and confusion as they watch this phenomenon unfold. Someone asks in disbelief,
What's that?
while another voice suggests it might be extraterrestrial origin. The object maintains its bright green luminosity as it travels across the sky, defying easy explanation. Conventional aircraft don't produce this type of bright green illumination, and meteorites rarely maintain such a consistent, vibrant green glow throughout their descent. The timing and location at an airport facility adds credibility to the footage, as these workers would be familiar with normal aircraft aircraft and atmospheric events. So, what do you think these airport workers witnessed that night? Was this a rare natural phenomenon, advanced military technology, or perhaps something not of this world? You tell me.
I knew that was in the last video. Honestly, that was a great shot of a meteor. I would say that was a meteor. I would even say it's a meteor shower because then you would see like a couple. Um, Last month or 2 months ago, not quite sure. I was about to take my son to the airport, and I was waiting for him outside, and his flight was extremely early in the morning. It must have been like 4 o'clock in the morning. It was dark outside, and I was looking up into the sky just waiting for him. And I was seeing for the first time, it was like, I'm gonna say shooting stars, but it was like one over here, one over there. Like it was it was pretty cool. Pretty cool. I've never seen a meteor though. I actually am, you know, flabbergasted with the color of it, because if it is a meteor, when it enters our atmosphere, it's burning. So it would make an orange fiery kind of glow. But this is green. So, anybody has any explanation out there in the ether net? Why was this meteor? Because, I'm not going to say it's a UFO because it has all the characteristics of a meteor. Why would it be green?
An Indonesian explorer decides to test his courage by spending time alone on a bridge known for supernatural activity. Local legends claim the bridge demands sacrifices from those who cross it. The man begins recording himself during what starts as a routine paranormal investigation. Everything appears normal at first, but partway through his recording, he reports feeling an overwhelming sense of dread, and that's when this happens. Behind the explorer, a white figure appears to float above the trees and is apparently a, quote, kuntilanak. According to Indonesian folklore, a kuntilanak is the spirit of a woman who passed away in childbirth and seeks revenge on the living. These entities are said to appear as pale figures in white clothing. The bridge continues to attract paranormal investigators despite its dark reputation. But this footage raises the question of whether some locations should simply be left alone. Thanks so much for watching. If you're up for more scary videos, check out one of these next. You're gonna love them. Oh, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.
All right, you guys. Yes, I'm gonna put his Mind Junkies information in the description section and the original video for this in there as well. Now, as far as that, I don't know. I don't know. That wasn't very much to go on, especially if he is a paranormal investigator. There was really nothing to go on. It almost seemed like the edit was bad, and and they, instead of putting the figure more lower, they kind of just, made it high up in the sky. I've never seen something like this done before, so I can't even give an honest opinion besides the fact that the edit was an accidental edit, because it looked like there was a spirit walking in the sky when it was meant to be on the ground, right? Like it was free floating, but it was walking. And I could be completely wrong. This is just my opinion. It just seemed like there was really nothing to go with, and it was just a little off. It was too off. It was so off that it was a red flag to me. But anyway, If you guys are enjoying yourselves, please do what you do when you like a channel. Hit that like, share, subscribe, follow, and I'll see you guys on the next. Peace.